guys, let's talk about creating a change in scale or size with keyframes. We're continuing our After Effects course, and I'm teaching you the basics of basically everything that you're going to be using After Effects for, and it all has to do with keyframes. So we've talked about changing opacity, we've changed about using keyframes with position. Today let's talk about scale. So now I have these three circles for you, and all these things like these circles and the different text and all that stuff that I'm adding, I'll go more in depth in future lessons about creating shapes and other things like that. So don't worry about like, oh, how did you do that? How did you get those colors, etc. I'll teach you that in the future. Right now I just want to show you the basics and talk about scale though. So again, we're going to go to 2 seconds, and first I just want to show you how to go from 0 to big, or to this size. And it's a great way to make shapes and text appear. So I'm going to go select all of them, press S to bring up scale, set the timer, go back to 1, and I'll set this scale at 0. So if I render this out, we have our circles appearing. Maybe we want this to go a little bit faster, so we'll do it in double time. There you have it appearing. Maybe we want them one at a time, so I'm going to move this keyframe of the first, second, third. So first one we'll move to the start, and the last one we moved after the second one. So maybe that's the start of our animation, and then we have, text pop up. I'll show you that really quick. So we'll do 1. I'll increase the size of that text. And so when you're playing with the size of text, you don't set keyframes with the font size over here. You do it with the scale, just like we did these ones. And so I'm going to, first I'm going to set the anchor point using the pan behind tool to the center of this number so that it scales from the center and not from the bottom. And then I'm going to actually just copy and paste this scale keyframe from this one object and then paste it to my next object, the number 1. So now I copied and pasted those together. So now you have one pop up. And then maybe I'll do this afterwards. So I'll do 1. It'll pop up after the three circles pop up. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, and then numbers will pop up. I can repeat, go 1, 2, 3, but I think you get the picture. So that's pretty cool. Let me show you something that you can do to add a little bit of flow to your animation. So I'm going to delete this one and keep the scale function up. And one thing that you'll see in animations is what I call a bounce, and it's when something appears on screen and it has a little bit of a bounce to it, and that could be with position or with scale. And let me show you what I mean. So here I go from 0 to 100, but sometimes people go from 0 to 110% and then back down to 100%, and it adds a little bit of a bounce to it. So I'm going to go a few frames before this last keyframe and set it at 110. Let me show you what that looks like. So there, it has a little bit of a bounce to it. Now I want to increase the speed of this, so I'm going to select these last 2 keyframes and move them closer to the first one. So there you have a little bit of a bounce for this first circle, and it gives it a little bit more flow. So I'm going to do the same with the second one. So let's set this at 110, move them a little bit forward. And this last one, again, set it at 110, a few frames before the last keyframe. So it goes from 0 to 110 to 100. Now let's see what this looks like. So now you see how it has like a subtle bounce to it, and it just makes it have a little bit more flow to it. So that's one thing you can do with your animating techniques using keyframes. Maybe we want to bounce out, so we will set this keyframe, copy and paste, go forward a few keyframes, copy and paste, select this first one, the 0, and copy and paste. Then I can just copy and paste all these keyframes, go to this middle circle, paste it, move forward, and then paste it again. Actually, this last one is supposed to be 0. This last keyframe for each one is supposed to be 0, and then 0. So it goes from 100 to 110 to 0. So let's see what that looks like. Bounces in, bounces out. So that's a cool animation already. Alright, so I'm going to delete these and show you another thing you can do with size, just to add a little bit more quality to your videos. Say you have a background, subtly increasing the size can really increase the quality. So right now it's at 54%. I'm just going to set a scale keyframe at the start. Then at 5 seconds, I'm going to increase this to just like 56, maybe 57. And now I'm going to render it out. And say I had like some text going on right here, some other animations. Having the background doing a slight increase in scale, it just adds a whole new dimension to it. Rather than just being a static background, boring, this makes it, have a little bit more quality, and it makes it a little bit more dynamic. Of course, sometimes you need a static background, and this, you don't want your background to be changing size, but if it makes it look better, this is a great technique to use. So that is how you create a change in size with keyframes. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Next time we're going to be talking about rotation, so stick around for that one, and have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.